So you're becoming popular. Your platform is blowing up. You're getting fame. Not sure what to do with all of that attention and how to deal with the creeping loneliness that's seeping into your life because of the alienation of people feeling worse than you or feeling like they're not cool enough to be around you. Well, I got you because I was led to do that reading for you today. We're going to find out exactly how to deal with this newfound fame that is entering your life. I think it's actually a very underrated topic, and most people don't talk about it probably because it's an individual journey, and at the same time they usually maybe talk to their therapist about this. But in my case, or in this case, I'm a spiritual life coach, so you can talk to me. Hello and welcome. My name is Veruca Cyn, and I'm a fashion mystic, and I am here to make magical clothing as well as provide you deep and spiritual insights to help empower you to live your best life. If you are already part of the cult, reverse harem, family, welcome back, sinners. It's nice to have you back. If you are new to pick a card readings, I just want to take a moment to explain to you and let you know that everything is within your own free will. Nothing in this reading is set in stone. You are always able to make the choice that fits and feels right for you. And you can always completely disregard any messages in this reading. This is meant for entertainment and guidance. Treat it as an exercise activity for you to reflect and ask yourself whether or not these sort of topics introduced to you will help contribute to expanding the way you perceive your reality and how you can go about it differently, especially if you're feeling stuck. So right in front of the screen, all you have to do is choose between two piles. If you feel called to choose both, you're welcome to. If one or none of the readings resonate with you, that is totally fine. There's always other readings on my channel you can check out, or perhaps just keep in the back of your mind some of the messages in this reading may resonate with you at a later date when things unfold. So let's get started, shall we? I'm going to use Tarot of the Divine, and we're going to gather some insight. I'm looking at my shelf because my guides actually want me to pick out an oracle deck for you guys. Hold on one second. I think they want you to choose Ancestors, Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck. And Tarot of the Divine looks like this. Pile 1 has come into fame, and we would like to provide some guidance and protection, I hear, and insight as to what they need to hear and know to prepare them for the road ahead. Not everything that is meant for you will be that obvious. That's what I'm hearing. The reason why was because when I'm shuffling, the card stuck out like this and I almost crushed it. So if you're not careful, you might snuff out opportunities that would be actually a blessing in disguise for you. And the reason why it's so tough for you to spot it out is because you're going to be swarmed with a lot of opportunities and false people that try to aggressively sell themselves off as opportunities waiting to happen, and that they could be like the next best thing for you, whereas great opportunities might be a little bit more silent and subtle, and they're not as desperate and in your face. In fact, they might be possibly even a little bit more shy, a bit coming across as humble, or even possibly disinterested. Take the time to look into the background of the opportunities given to you, not just counted by numbers and metrics, but by looking at the engagement of the people that interact and the community that's involved with the people who are approaching you. I'm hearing even if the person coming to approach you does not have a big enough of a presence as you do, if you wholeheartedly believe and feel like their product or services or whatever it is that they have to offer to you is something that can really make a difference or contribute to your community, that's something you can discuss with them. I hear screen them, do interviews. If you have a marketing manager, a PR person that helps take care of this aspect, have them look into this individual and see if they meet the requirements to have what it takes for it to be a fruitful collaboration where it's not just you benefiting them, but more so in the long run, what they have to offer also will help contribute to your community, as well as help make a bigger difference as a grand scale in the collective. Oh, that's a big message before I even flipped over any cards. Let's continue, shall we? That's funny. 7 of Cups flew out. We have the first card I didn't look at. 6 of Cups. 7 of Cups. The Tower. And then the other two are 4 of Wands and 9 of Cups. It's 222 in the morning right now as I'm reading this. So message, that number, angel number must have a meaning for you. So I must say it was very jarring for you when you came into fame. Some of you, it was even unexpected. You were just sharing what you loved, doing what you loved, and doing it for the fun and enjoyment of it. It's something you felt very nostalgic, and it's something like you were always part of the community before even creating your own community, so to speak. Very community centralized. Like maybe you share a common love for video games, I hear, or if like you're a creator, like you're a content creator where you play video games live, or you do art in a community, whatever it is, you have a passion for it, and it's very community focused, and you grew because of that. You already had an existing community that you were part of, and when you created your own voice, so to speak, it blew up. You were very emotionally fulfilled, and you felt very loved from it. This may pertain to some of you. Some of you are already married, happily married even. So you could be sharing that part of your life publicly, or it's just like a side information for those of you for Power 1. But yeah, you already have a very nice life and happy life to begin with. You weren't holding your breath for fame to happen to you before it came. So that's very nice. That makes sense, because when you're so badly wanting fame, you're kind of pushing it away in some regards, right? Like there must be, it's like when people, it's going to be an example that might be triggering for some, but it's like sometimes when we really need something in life, we really need money, we have really strong feelings towards it, both good or bad feelings about our relationship in regards to money, right? And it's the same thing, but in this case, it could be about fame. Whereas for you, you've always thought fame would be nice, but it's not a requirement for you to continue doing what it is you love, nor would it discourage you from doing what it is you love, because it wasn't why you did it in the first place. You did it for the love of it, which is very beautiful. It's like, some people say doing something is a means to an end, but like the doing of it is the means to the end for you, which is very amazing. So let's find any advice in the Ancestors Oracle deck. What advice we can have for Power 1 stepping into fame? Hermit. Retreat and recharge. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Thank you, Spirit. Isn't that funny and cool? Now that you're stepping into fame and your community and new people are finding you, and there is a greater demand for you and your art and your expression of whatever it is you're sharing on this world, it is good to start drawing clear boundaries for having a time and place to retreat and recharge, and to completely shut off all your phone notifications, your computer email notifications, and maybe even, I'm hearing, transfer that over to like getting a dedicated computer for work and a dedicated phone for work, so that you can have a personal phone and a personal computer that's not related to that at all. I think that will really help keep your mental health in check, and you'll feel really balanced that way, and you won't feel like work is always haunting you, because I know you care a lot about the community and the things you do, and you always want to be there for people, but it will get to the point where it will burn you out when you realize you haven't even taken a moment of time for yourself. Is there any other messages for Power 1? Shaman, trust in higher forces. Yeah, so you got here because of what you've been doing and who you are. So just trust that as long as you continue to stay true to who you are and what you have been doing, and listen into your community and being the wonderful person you've always been, that it will continue to foster. There's there's no need to fix what's broken. I hear there's nothing broken. It's just a progressive evolution of growing more into who you are and who you will become and who you aspire to be and what you aspire to share in the world. I hear some of you guys are perfectionists and you always want the best for your community, but don't be so hard on yourself. Trust in yourself and trust in the position you have been given. The last card here is Drum, Dream and Journey. So use this time to reflect, and whenever you're away from your community, take the time to think about what sort of dreams did you have for something bigger than yourself if you ever were to be put in that position. Maybe perhaps now it's time to implement that, or at least start planning and thinking towards that, because now you're in a position where you can take action, right? You can make it a reality because you have people backing you up. You can think about where you want to lead these people. What was the reason at the very beginning when you started this journey and that, well, I don't need fame, but if I ever had it, I would like to do this with them. What is that? This with them. Be graceful in movement and action. Yeah, so take time to reflect. Don't panic. Don't panic. If people seem suddenly volatile or strongly swing from one way or another, like liking you or not liking you, accepting and agreeing with your work and your expression or not, just realize that it just means people care and people are engaging. So take this opportunity to truly reflect on what it is that you would like for the bigger picture, and trust that it is the right call for everyone within your community, okay? Okay, well, that was a really nice, short and sweet message for Pile 1. Very peaceful and drama-free. I love that. Absolutely. Thank you so much for taking the time to click on this video today and for listening to the advice I have to share, and I hope it was of use and helpful for you. If you like this video, please give it a like and a thumbs up, and subscribe if you would like to be part of the family, a part of the tribe, and become a sinner yourself. And if you are interested, you can check out my website and book a reading with me at www.verucacyn.com, and check out my clothing as well that I create and sell. And if you're interested in seeing what Pile 2 has to say, if you're also choose Pile 2, you're more than welcome to follow me along. Alright, Pile 2, welcome to your reading. Let's find out for you, stepping into fame, what sort of advice and insights Spirit has for you to help navigate you through this new and exciting time of the chapter of your life. They actually don't want me to use the same tarot deck as Pile 1. They want me to switch. So I'm going to go to the astrology tarot, and I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab it. Here is the Light Gray Art Lab Cosmos Tarot and Oracle deck. It's so pretty. Okay, I'm actually listening to Janae Aiko's Chilombo Melody. It's like a 15-minute thing to help me keep pace. I'm hearing for Pile 2, based off of the lyrics I'm hearing right now, I don't normally always feel called to say that the message is in a song, but as I'm getting ready into the energy of Pile 2, I am hearing that Pile 2's step into fame was a more volatile one. It was triggered by a hater, actually. Someone who didn't have the best interest for you, was trying to slander your name and spread gossips and lies about you. But what actually ended up happening was it boosted you into fame. Okay, so I wasn't intentionally trying to shuffle for cards, but this card, Minor Sacrifice for Something Important, flew out. And the other card called Kalium, Tool of Creation, Refinement, and Configuration. Yeah, like, it's funny how we're talking about this, and look, there's a chisel that was jabbed right into the sculpture's neck, like the statue's neck, as if it's supposed to break it. But instead it like added to the character of this art, you know what I mean? So it's like something that was meant to be betrayal ended up becoming a blessing for you. I bet that person who led you to this fame is seething. Whew. And now she's singing you are protected. So yes, not to be worried. You are protected. That's why this was divinely guided to you. Instead of it slandering your name and closing doors for you, it was projecting you was like a projectile sending you towards a direction that was better for you and away from them, and to put you in a position where they can never reach you and touch you again. And you'll be protected by many others who adore you and will stand by you, even though there seems to be the illusion of adversary. So let's pull up some cards for pile 2, shall we? What advice for pile 2? Help them navigate smooth sailing. Okay. Yeah, really, you really missed. It was a close call. You really missed something that would have really hurt you. Almost gone to the crossfire or something, and just before that moment, you like decide to like step back and like completely missed you. Okay, so we have Pavo, vigilance, watchfulness, guidance. Those are your guides. Definitely. Then we have Vela, faith, guidance. How much more do I have to say that you're protected? Then we have Cetus, underlying emotional issue, self-doubt and fear. So in many ways, you also weren't prepared. You weren't prepared for the fame because you were not expecting to get fame in this manner. I have a feeling you wanted fame and you were working towards fame, but you did not expect that you would step into fame in this way. We also have Ursa Major, standing up for oneself. Draco, defeat, loss, disdain, humility. I feel like that's the person who tried to hurt you. Carefree, open-minded, second wind. You've always had a sort of defeatist mentality, mostly because if I'm going to have to be very honest with you, pile number 2, you need to work on your self-respect, self-esteem, and your self-love, because of this internal conflict that you constantly battle with. You indirectly, without realizing, attract people who don't have the best intentions for you, and they envy you because they're reflecting a part of you that is like that, and if it's not like this anymore, it used to be, right? Just because other people are like that around you doesn't mean that's who you are on the inside. It just means it could have been past lingering energies that you have not fully shed, and it's still orbiting around you with the dynamics of people like that around you, reflecting the past, previous version of who you used to be, you know? And you're aspiring to become like a phoenix, to be reborn and to be a better person. So if you have the money for it, pile 2, I would suggest for you to go seek therapy and work on these traumas. I hear that you may have had some deep-seated traumas that you carried with you for a long time, since childhood, and when you're able to release those and transmute those energies and fully let it go, then you will be able to step into the best version of yourself and set healthy boundaries for others around you moving forward. And of course, on top of your therapy, if you choose to go for that, or if you're not comfortable yet, you're always more than welcome to book a reading with me as well, and I'll do my best to bring you guidance and insight and an aid, and also prepare for you emotionally and mentally for the moment where you do feel ready for seeing a licensed therapist. And the reason why I say that is I'm hearing like, why? Because licensed practitioners and licensed therapists and psychologists, they are equipped with a lot of different scenario practices where there are cases they can focus on to be able to diagnose you properly and see the traumas and things you're experiencing, certain behavioral patterns and thinking patterns that are contributing to this factor that's hurting yourself, contributing to certain outcomes in your life, and they're able to redirect it by helping you become aware of these things. Whereas myself as a spiritual practitioner and a spiritual life coach, I'm learning about these things, but I'm also sharing a lot of my knowledge through intuitive channeling as well as personal experiences. So on that scope, to that degree, it's still limited. That's why I think it's very important that you seek someone who has I'm hearing the word doctorate, someone who has the little studies and examples of how to carry through with such incidents and cases. And if it comes to a degree where it's biological, like chemically wise, you may need to have some sort of a medical assistance and whatnot to help with anxiety or depression and maybe you have manic episodes. I'm not in a position to speak about these, by the way, because I'm not a licensed therapist or doctor, but from what I understand, my personal experiences, these sort of things are beyond my scope of expertise, and others outside of this realm can help carry on forth and reinforce. And in actuality, pile number 2, a lot of my clients who I consult and coach also pair hand in hand with a personal therapist or a psychiatrist, working hand in hand in tandem. And it's very effective and it's very good, because for a tarot reader like me, I address a lot of the inner emotions that you may not be consciously aware of, and I'm bringing it to the scope of your subconscious to your conscious, whereas perhaps a therapist or psychiatrist will be able to observe from the things you already are telling them and take that and help piece it together or deconstruct it so you can understand it better. You see what I'm saying? So it's like 2 angles of working around here. Okay, so let's go back to the reading. Setting up for oneself. Because you've attracted these people who weren't really that great to you, you were always put in a position where you had to defend yourself. You always had people questioning your character and your intentions, or like the legitimacy of something that you know, like your credibility or the professionalism of the authority of your field. And that doesn't help for you to build a secure confidence foundation base, you know? This person, though, because they did this to you, they only have themselves to blame, to be honest. They lost you forever now, technically, right? And I know there's a bit of remorse within you, because I think they were someone who you considered a really close friend and you trusted, and someone who was so close to you. Only someone who's this close to you is able to hurt you this deeply, to have this sort of intel and information about you, right? To use against you. Because you were carefree and open-minded, you trusted this person and they didn't handle it well. So we're gonna pull more cards and see what advice, because that was more background information, advice that a lot came out. We have Perseus, flaunting powers gained by unsavory means. How fitting this is. We have, oh my god, black hole, drain of resources, dangerous undercurrent. Spirit is no joke. They're very much listening to this conversation. Satellite, support, attraction, and companion. Andromeda, burden, baggage, self-oppression, the devil. Orion, skill, arrogance, vanity. I'm hearing that there's a lot of shadow work that you're going to have to go through. You're going to have to do to prevent this from happening again in the future. To have a smoother sailing with your fame. Corona Australis, extreme action for a personal quest. Silent observation, subtleties, opportune timing, links. I normally time my readings, but I feel called to stay with you for this reading until it's answered, okay? So we're gonna do that. The reason why I normally time my readings is because I'm pacing on my energy, but it also defeats the purpose if I time my readings and I'm not able to help the person or the pile I'm reading for properly. You know what I mean? So you also have the Magician, leadership, impulse, the first opportunity, Aries. I'm hearing it's up to you now where you go from here. You alone can dictate where you want the direction of this fame to go. So you're in a relatively newer stages of your fame. Cepheus, foolish involvement in petty actions. Canis Major, the chase, pursuit without fatigue. You've been running for a long time to prove yourself, pal 2. Because this person is not the first person to hurt you, and they're also possibly not going to be the last person to hurt you. Why? Because you still have this pattern within your energy, your aura. You're still attracting it, and or you haven't learned to fully let go of it so that it would stop orbiting around you to repeat the same sort of circumstances. And there's something within this dynamic that you haven't learned a lesson of yet. I hear a lot of grudges and resentment and anger you're still holding on to, a bit of resentment about the trauma that people have put you in the past. Because of that, you're holding that energy, and that energy is preventing these old energies from leaving your orbit. So you're literally actually circumventing and encouraging the exact same sort of energy to be fostering and orbiting within you. You're kind of like, I'm going to be honest here, you're, what is that word? you're technically bathing in your own bath water right now, and you know that you need to get out of it, and you know you need to switch to cleaner water, and this is not doing you any good, but you're kind of addicted to it because it's the pain you've always known. You're afraid of change. You have a lack of self-love, that I explained. Because of that, you're afraid that you deserve better. You don't, deep down inside, you don't want better because you're afraid of better. You don't know if you can handle better. You don't believe you deserve better. So you push yourself to suffer, and because you push yourself to suffer, you self-sabotage and you resent and you're angry, which holds the same dynamic frequency of attracting those who also in return resent you and are jealous of you and don't want you to be happy, and also deep down inside don't believe that they're worth anything as well. So you see what I mean? It's like a self-perpetuating feedback loop. And this is something you're going to have to get out of, and that's why I heard the shadow work, okay? You do have an opportunity, like I said earlier, to take this any way you like. You could choose to see this as, like more people throwing hurt at me and that's the only way I can get fame. It's like maybe deep down inside you really think the only way you can get fame is as long as you continue to serve attention or drama, or for people to be mad at you and angry at you. But you can also transmute this energy and see it as good. You're having a really hard time seeing how it could be good, so let me count and see how this could be good. You could use this to uplift and empower people. Take this as an opportunity to heal yourself. And when you begin healing, you can also show that as an example through demonstration of sharing your experiences, especially if you're like a vlogger. I hear some of you guys are like vloggers. Like you speak about like your life and you share openly about the vulnerabilities and embarrassing moments. And that's why people love watching you and following you. That's why in the first place you even got famous. Maybe someone like called you and like tried to cancel you or something. What you can do is continue sharing your life and continue sharing your healing and sharing how you're overcoming it or how you decide to move on from it. And in turn, a lot of the viewerships that you have will also choose to grow with you, because I'm sure a lot of them also are tired of the same old thing like you, and they are always behind your back and they support you 100%, and they're very loyal, passionate fans, and they too see you as a sister and they grow with you. So this would be a really wonderful time to step from a place of victimhood into leadership, and you can start taking initiative to show, hey, like I decided to start journaling and reflecting and meditating, and I started looking into like therapy to see how I can deal with all this stuff, because all my life I went through all this sort of treatment, and now like I want to break the cycle, you know, and I learned this and I realized this, and then people are going to stop and realize maybe they need therapy too, and they're going to consider journaling and reflecting and meditating because you didn't find shame in it. You saw it as something that was empowering, and you saw that it was something that would help you grow up as a person and being like mature as an individual. And a lot of these viewers are really young and they grew up in environments where they were shamed to see mental health and addressing mental health as something that's real. So that's very powerful. A definite advice for you. Yeah. I'm gonna pull some ancestor oracle cards now. I feel we're ready to move on from that and give you insight. Okay, they said just one is enough. They don't want to overwhelm you because they already gave you a lot of loaded information and truth that was very cutting to your ego, I hear. Pile 2, you got Star Ancestor. Follow the voice of your soul. Authenticity. That's your challenge, Pile 2. Stepping into your fame, not just your fame, but into your authenticity. Utilize your authenticity to grow and cultivate your fame and deepen your fame. I'm hearing, like if I show more of myself, people might think I'm boring. You know, there's a growing and shedding phase where you may continue to cultivate those who loved you for who you were before, or you can continue evolving and attract new people who will support you and continue with you on the path where you're headed. I'm going to pull some cards on what will happen if you do that, because I know you're afraid. And of course, you're probably thinking, you're a very small platform, like, what do you know? I can't say I know much, but I can say, as in terms of life experiences, every time that I've stepped deeper into my truth, I would have more people dislike me, but I would also attract a new sense of crowd that enjoyed me just as much as those who rejected me. So although it may not be overnight, it is gradual and it is here to stay. And I can't see how it would be any different from a platform, right? It's just whether or not do you have the patience for what's that word? For long-term results? Do you have the patience, or are you just here for a quick cash grab? That's what I'm hearing. Oh, damn, your guides are savage to you. But I mean, if you're already this spicy, then you must have needed to hear that if you were going to think that way, right? No, you're not about to. Just channeling, just a messenger. Okay, we have Hydrus in one's element. Ease of action, Hercules, great effort, trial. It comes very natural to you for you to be very drama-inducing. It's not a bad thing, because what I've been recently learning about social media is engagement is engagement. That's why there's so much toxicity, and sometimes people even instigate it because they know that brings attention and it brings engagement. If it brings engagement, it brings attention. If it brings attention, it brings opportunity, right? So it's almost like a double-edged sword. But your guides are calling me to say, use this with grace. That's why there's these purple flowers in between. I know they're not lavender flowers. I don't know what kind of flowers they are, but these sort of flowers remind me of like peace, calmness. But obviously there's a snake in such a tumultuous tide, right? So I guess what it's saying is, oh, I hear it now. You have to be ready to take what you dish out. So if you are going to cause drama to, let's just say, bring yourself to the next level. I just realized, look, there's a snake in the next picture. The snake's head is cut off. Yeah. If you're going to go and try to like snitch on someone, or you're going to try and go and like maybe, let's just say, shit on someone's reputation so you can like get more clout because your name is suddenly associated with this celebrity or this big name person, pile two, and all eyes are on you now because they're like, oh shit, this so-and-so person, celebrity is, I don't know, aiming for this and so person now, what's going to happen? So all eyes are going to be on you because that's attention grabbing, right? That's successful. But the outcome can also not be to your benefit. It could even chop off your own head if it doesn't chop off their head. And there's going to be that sort of sacrifice. So it's to count your blessings and to count, to make your fights count. Choose your fights wisely is what I'm hearing. Because you could end up chewing off more than you can swallow, and it could technically end up choking you. It's like this snake tried to attack this man, right? They think this man has like nothing. They have soft skin, they just got a tiger on their head, whatever. But then when the snake goes and tries to eat this man literally chopped off its head. So don't underestimate your opponents. Pile 2, in between the time that you're going to address to get healing, and see how you can change your platform, and not necessarily change it, but evolve it in a way where you don't always have to depend on toxicity and depend on other people shitting on you or playing the victim for you to continue getting attention. How you can evolve from that. Take time to see. Like maybe you can find other things that are just as drama inducing, but not really, it doesn't really lead any super tragic consequences. Does that make sense? Let's look into more of that for you, because that is a fine line we're balancing here. Like we're like, okay, we're gonna dance in the shadows, right? But what degree of shadow are we talking now, so that you can get away not too scuffed up, and your karma and the other person also isn't as hurt, because it's kind of like that's the rules of the games that you guys are playing, right? For pile 2, this is the industry you guys are in. Okay, Vulpecula, sly predator, deceptive motives. It is a warning though, pile 2, that if you stay in this game for too long, you might not last, because it's gambling, right? Okay, so what's the advice then? Yeah, they say please take heed to what Sin is saying and don't be so stubborn. Take time to reflect on this message, and or come back to it another time when you're not so triggered and angry from this message. Necessity for transition and renewal, Lacerta and Muska. See, all things must come to an end at some point. Maybe you could let your rodeo like ride out, but this could be your last rodeo or your last few rodeos. Because you're going to burn out. You're going to burn out your viewership and your community. They're going to get tired of being looped up and down this emotional turmoil. Business sales promises, Mercury. Let's see. I'm hearing cash grab when it comes to the business. Keeping up appearances, tactical finesse. There's a lot of like bird eat bird, dog eat dog world. Snake being like trying to bite you, have your head chop off. Yeah, but observation, big picture discovery. If you look at the bigger picture of who you are and who you wish to become and aspire to, you're going to let go of all this shadow. You could be who you truly are and you'll be fine. So at some point when you become more financially stable, you can start transitioning and pivoting your content, or maybe the type of focus you want to do, so that you no longer have to stay in the swamp. You can go into clear waters, detection, detail, scrutiny. People will keep receipts though. The longer you stay here, the more people are going to keep tabs on the things you've done in your past, and it might come back to haunt you. So be calculative of how long you stay in this path, and realize that the attention you garner, although it is bringing in quick money and attention because, you know, people love drama, but there's also a consequences for that, because the people who love the drama with you also themselves are piranhas in a way, because they are all in the similar dynamic of wound. So instead of having them betray you or feel like they're betraying you, instead of feeling like they're gonna cancel you one day or betray you, you can grow with them and step into, like I said, a position of, instead of victimhood, but into leadership. Inspire them on how they can change and be better people. For one example I keep thinking about is Paul Logan. You know, I think he went a little too far, and he went from, oh, this is like attention grabbing and very edgy, and then it went to, okay, that's not even funny anymore, and it backfired, right? And if he wanted to stay afloat, he had to make amends, and he changed a lot as a person. So now his content is really different, and it's to learn from that mistake and to help other people realize the things he realized as well on his path of fame. He still has fame, but his fame and the way he presents himself now is different. So maybe you can look to him as an example of what to do, how to. With that being said, I certainly hope you really liked the reading, and I hope it was of value to you. And of course, if you do want to have a personalized reading from me before you go into tandem with therapy or whatnot, you're more than welcome to book a reading with me on my website down in the description box below at www.verukacyn.com. Or if you want to shop some of my clothing creations, you're welcome to check it out. If you enjoyed this reading, please give a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you would like, check out more readings from me, and I'll see you in the next video. I love you.